Hey everyone, welcome to Webos video tutorial. My name is Ziv, I'm a cyber analyst here at Webos, and today I'm going to give you some important information about our data breach detection API, or as we call it, the DBD. During this tutorial, you will receive general and technical information about the endpoint along with a few examples of how to use it. Let's start with a short overview of the DBD and its main features. While crawling the web, Webos discovers new leaks, then validates, structures, and removes duplicate entries. The goal of the DBD is to detect breaches of personal or confidential information related to individuals as well as organizations. The DBD endpoint contains breaches originated from both data files like TXT, SQL, or CSV, and snippets of sensitive information that were leaked as part of dark network discussions. The DBD service is based on a standard REST API protocol that is as simple to integrate as our other cyber services. The output data is provided in Json format, as you will see shortly in our examples. The search in our DBD service is entity-centric, meaning that you can search for data based on entity values such as email values, domains, credit cards, phones, account names, and more. The entity value, as opposed to our other services, is provided as a parameter and not as a filter. Now let's move on to the examples. On the screen, you're able to see the DBD playground, which is our visual tool to evaluate the data from the DBD. The basic query in the DBD endpoint built from two main parameters and their value. The first one is the entity parameter, which is a mandatory parameter and its value must be exact. Second is the scenes parameter, appeared in the playground as crawled scenes, and its value will appear in the query URL in epoch time configuration. The purpose of this parameter is to filter documents from the time entered until now. This parameter helps us to focus on the latest data. So for example, if you would like to find only the most recent mentions of a specific entity, you can use this parameter to achieve that. Now we will see two examples, one for a single entity and other for multi-entity, and we will dive into the URL structure and the JSON outputs. For the first example, we'll check for breaches on a specific email. We can see the URL changes in accordance with the values we entered. Now let's move to the URL query. As we can see in the JSON output, this query retrieved the entity searched, including all matched leaked records. For each entity, it's possible to have up to 100 leaked records, and in this case we can see the email breached in 8 different leaks. Let's dive into the JSON output of the leaks. We can see there are a lot of different fields. Let's talk about the main ones. The name field is the publication name of the leak. The breach date field is the date when the leak took place. Below this field we can see all the compromised fields the leak contains. Another fields we will see is the reference to the original domain and source of the leak. The crawled field is the date when the compromised entity was first indexed to the API. In some cases, we'll also see the sensor password that is attached to the breached entity. In case we have leaked snippets from one of the dark web networks, as you can see now on the screen, it will also contain the network field that represents where this snippet first appeared in. As we can see, if we search for a single entity, all its relevant records will appear in a single doc with no need to paginate. For the second example, we will monitor for breaches of the domain intel.com. As we can see, this query retrieved all the entities related to this domain, including all matched leaked records. In this case, we search for multiple entity, meaning in one page it will show up to 10 entities sorted by their last update time. If there are more than 10 relevant entities, it's needed to paginate. We could see that without using the scenes parameter, the number of entities received was around 11,000 entities. Now let's see what will happen if we will set the scenes parameter for 3 months ago. We could see the number of entities has decreased to around 6,500 entities. That means those entities have undergone some updates in the last 3 months. To sum it up, the DBD is a simple user-friendly endpoint that will help you to gain comprehensive coverage of compromised data on the dark web, such as PII leaks and records related to your domain. It offers multi-entity support that goes beyond just email and password detection to include credit cards, account names, social security numbers, phone numbers, and more. Here at Webos, it's our mission to deliver up-to-the-minute dark web data, so you can do your best to mitigate the damage of these breaches as far in advance as possible. Thank you for watching our data breach detection API tutorial. Feel free to visit webos.io for more information. We hope to see you again soon with more videos.